Selected 1. Pause right here. This is not a typical situation. Out of millions of voices online, heaven has pushed this word directly into your path. This is not a coincidence. It is a summons. Heaven is calling your name, which is why you're here. All your life, you fell out of place. You've wondered why the road seemed harder for you than for others. Why blessings came wrapped in battles. Why you carried burdens no one else could see. You thought those wounds were signs of failure, but they were etchings. They are the marks of a warrior who survived. Think of your spirit like a paper kite in a fierce wind. Everyone expected it to tear and fall, but an invisible hand kept lifting the string higher. That hand was God's. That string was your destiny. That is not just a poetic image. It is the truth of who you are. Here's the sign. The very people who underestimated you, who spoke against you in secret, are about to witness a public reversal. Someone's love, once hidden, is going to break open in front of everyone. It won't be subtle. It will be a signal. A public declaration that heaven's choice cannot be hidden any longer. When this happens, don't shrink back. Don't doubt yourself. This is not about fame. This is about validation. This is about the invisible becoming visible. The kite is no longer lost in the wind. It is soaring for all to see, and its flight is a sign that the thread was never cut. Prepare your heart. The public love that is coming isn't just from a person. It's heaven's way of saying, now the world will see what I've always seen in you. And you have asked, why me? Why is the battle always harder for me? The truth is this. The enemy targets those who are most dangerous to his kingdom. You're not weak. You are stronger than you realize. The intensity of your storms is proof of your value to heaven. The writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 126, verse 5. Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Let this word sink deep. Every tear you shed was a seed. Every silent cry was a planting. And now the harvest of joy is drawing near. Your pain has never been wasted. It has been transformed into the fertile ground of breakthrough. There was once a chosen one who lived through a long season of waiting. His name was never mentioned. Opportunities kept closing. People thought he was forgotten. Yet in the hidden years, heaven was pulling him back like a bowring. The tension was painful, but it was necessary. When the release finally came, the arrow of his life flew farther than anyone imagined. Perhaps this has been your season, too. The waiting, the stretching, the silence. But this is not the end. This is preparation for release. Every delay was divine. Every rejection was redirection. Every no was heaven's protection against the counterfeit. You were not overlooked. You were hidden. And now your unveiling is near. Chosen one, this is not the hour to shrink back. Do not let fear, procrastination, or doubt silence you. You have been entrusted with a key, not just for your life, but for others without you stepping forward. Certain doors remain locked. You were born to unlock paths no one else can open. Imagine yourself as a torch lifted high in the midnight march. Others stumble, searching for light, but your flame becomes their guide. This is why you cannot ignore this message. This is why you are here. Now I invite you to take a small act of faith with great meaning. If this word resonates in your spirit, share it so that another weary, chosen one may find hope. Like this message, so its light travels further. Subscribe so you remain connected to the flow of what God is releasing. And finally, seal this moment with a prophetic sign. In the comments, type the number 77. This is not about digits on a screen. It is your declaration before heaven and before the enemy. I am awake. I am chosen. I am ready. And hear me clearly when you declare that. All of heaven leans in. Angels take notice. The enemy trembles. This is more than a comment, more than a number. It is a covenant between your spirit and God. You are no longer hiding in the shadows of doubt. You are stepping boldly into the light of destiny. Do not think lightly of this moment. Many scroll past words like these, but you're not like the rest. The fact that you have stayed here, the fact that your heart is burning right now, is proof that you were chosen to carry a mantle others cannot bear. This is why your battles have been heavier, but also why your victory will be greater. So lift your head, chosen one. You are about to enter a season where tears turn into songs, where silence gives way to testimony, and where what was hidden is now revealed in glory. You were marked long before the world ever named you. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. Before anyone could place a label on you, before life tried to press you into a mold, heaven had already whispered over your soul. Set apart. This truth has been buried deep within you since the beginning. Though it has often been drowned out by noise, by doubt, by the voices of others who could not see what God had written over your life. Chosen one, you did not stumble into existence. Your steps were ordered before your feet ever touched the ground. Every detail of who you are, the way your mind works differently, the way your heart feels deeper, the way your spirit wrestles restlessly was designed with intention. You have always carried a mark that distinguished you, though you may have tried to hide it, to suppress it, to blend in. Think of a tree planted in a crowded forest. It looks like the others on the surface. Green leaves, tall trunk, but hidden within its wood is a strength unlike the rest. When a storm comes, other trees bend and break. But this one stands. That is the mark upon you. It is not about outward appearance. It is about inner foundation. From the earliest days, you may have felt like you didn't belong. Even as a child, there were whispers in your heart that you could not explain. Others laughed and played, but you sensed something heavier, something sacred resting on you. You may not have had the words then, but you knew you were different. And with that difference came battles. The enemy noticed the mark before you did. The weight of rejection, the sting of misunderstanding, the isolation that left you questioning your worth. These are not random hardships. They were strategic attacks against the chosen. But still you endure it. Still you rose. Still the mark of God remained untouched. Remember the story of Joseph. His brothers despised him, not because he had done wrong, but because of the mark on his life, the dream God placed in him. He was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, locked in prison at every turn. He was misunderstood, rejected, casted, yet the mark remained. And in time that mark lifted him from the lowest pit to the highest throne. Perhaps you too have walked through pits. Perhaps you too have tasted betrayal from those closest to you. But understand this, betrayal cannot erase the mark. Misunderstanding cannot strip away what heaven has written. You are still chosen. Consider the eagle. While other birds scatter when the storm rises, the eagle spreads its wings and allows the wind to carry you higher. That is you. You are not created to run from a storm. You are created to rise through it. Your mark is not protection from challenges. It is empowerment within them. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. You may feel weary from the journey, but hear this. Weariness does not erase chosenness. The flame of your destiny does not extinguish because of exhaustion. In fact, your very survival through seasons of pain is proof that the mark is real. You have been kept, preserved, sustained for something greater than yourself. At times you have asked, why does it feel like I can never fit no matter where I go? The answer is simple. You are not designed to fit. You are designed to lead. You are not a puzzle piece trying to match. You are the picture the puzzle is pointing toward. That is why blending in has always left you empty. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And though you may not fully see it yet, every season of your life has been pointing you toward that assignment. The loneliness shaped your compassion. The rejection carved out resilience. The silence taught you to hear the whisper of God. The tears watered the soil of your soul until it became fertile ground for purpose. Chosen one, you're not waiting to be chosen. You already are. What you're waiting for is the unveiling. And heaven is preparing even now to reveal what has been hidden, to bring into the light what was written long ago. Your mark is not fading. It is glowing brighter with each step, with each trial, with each act of faith. The evidence of your chosenness becomes clearer. You cannot erase it. You cannot run from it. It follows you because it defines you. And soon the world will see what heaven has always known. You were marked from the beginning, chosen one. Every weight you have carried has been noticed by heaven. Every secret struggle, every silent night, every unanswered question, it has all been part of your preparation. You may have felt invisible, but you were never unseen. You may have felt abandoned, but you were never alone. The shaping of your soul has been intentional, even when it seemed unbearable. There's a reason the fires were so hot. Gold cannot be purified without fire, and you are that gold. There's a reason the pressure has been so intense. Diamonds cannot be formed without pressure, and you are that diamond. You are not being destroyed. You are being refined. Think of clay in the hands of a potter. At first it is only a lump, shapeless and ordinary. But as the wheel spins, as pressure is applied, form begins to emerge. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. And then the fire hardens it into lasting strength. That is your life in the hands of God. Every spin, every push, every flame is not punishment. It is creation. You are a walking contradiction in the eyes of the world. They see someone who has been broken, but heaven sees someone unbreakable. They see scars, but heaven sees signatures of survival. They see detours, but heaven sees the road toward destiny. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." And let those words settle in you. What you call unbearable, heaven calls temporary. What you call crushing, heaven calls preparation. There's glory being woven into your very being. A glory that will outshine every shadow you've walked through. But here's what you must do. You cannot stay silent. Silence has been your prison. But now your voice must become your weapon. Speak it. Declare it. Let the atmosphere know that you belong to God. That your trials will not bury you, but will birth you. I want you to write this in the comments. Faith over fear. Just 3 words, but more powerful than 1,000 excuses. Why? Because when you declare faith over fear, you are breaking the agreement you once had with anxiety, doubt, and hesitation. You are choosing to align with heaven's courage rather than the enemy's intimidation. This act is not for me. It is for you. It is your soul speaking to your circumstances, your spirit proclaiming to the unseen realm, "I will not be ruled by fear anymore." Understand this. Fear whispers lies, but faith speaks truth. Fear tries to paralyze, but faith commands movement. Fear builds walls, but faith opens doors. When you comment faith over fear, you are tearing down invisible walls that tried to contain you. You are letting your own eyes read your confession so that your heart can believe it. Heaven honors that agreement, and the enemy trembles at it. Chosen one, this is your season to rise. You have walked through the valley, but the valley was not your grave. You have been pressed, but you were never crushed beyond repair. You have been bent, but you were never broken. Now you're being lifted, set apart, strengthened for what is coming. Picture yourself as a seed buried deep underground. Darkness surrounds you. Pressure covers you. But inside, life is breaking open. Soon the soil will split, and what was hidden will stretch toward the light. That seed is you, and nothing can stop what God has planted. So declare it boldly. Say it with faith. Let the world and the heavens see it written. Faith over fear. And as you write it, know this. You're not just echoing words. You are activating a spiritual reality. Every time you choose faith over fear, you silence the lies that have tried to replay in your mind for years. You break cycles that once chained your family line. You stand as a living testimony that fear does not get the final word. Do you feel the shift even now? It is the weight lifting, the fog clearing, the chains snapping. The enemy's grip is weakening because your agreement with fear is dissolving. This is what happens when a chosen one rises. Atmospheres shift, unseen barriers crumble. Destinies realign. You're not just fighting for yourself. Your faith is breaking ground for generations after you. So hold this close. Faith is your weapon. Fear is your defeated foe. Every battle ahead will only prove this truth deeper. Walk boldly. Chosen one. The future cannot be stopped when you choose faith over fear. The battle between light and darkness is not abstract. Chosen one is not a story from ancient times alone. It is the reality of your daily life. Every thought that tempts you toward despair, every whisper that tells you to quit, every shadow that tries to wrap around your hope, these are not accidents. They are strategies of darkness designed to suffocate the light within you. You stand at the front lines whether you realize it or not. The reason your life has felt like constant warfare is because your presence alone disrupts the enemy's plans. Darkness thrives where there is silence, but your very existence is noise against it. Your prayers, your resilience, your decision to keep moving, even when broken, they all sound like thunder in the enemy's camp. Picture a battlefield at night. Zoli Haida in fear waiting for dawn. Suddenly one carries a torch into the darkness. The glow is small, but the shadows scatter. That is you. You are the torchbearer who refuses to let fear define the night. You might feel insignificant, but even the smallest light is enough to expose what the darkness hides. And yes, the war is real. You have felt the heaviness in your chest, the battles in your mind, the weight of invisible resistance. But know this, you're not defenseless. Heaven has armed you with weapons that cannot be broken. Your faith is a shield. Your prayers are arrows. Your worship is a sword. These are not symbolic. They are supernatural. When you lift them, unseen realms are shaken. The prophet Isaiah once proclaimed in chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you." No one else was the intended recipient of these statements. They were composed with the selection in mind. They were written for you. So when the enemy rises, understand that his weapons may be formed, but they cannot succeed. His accusations may be loud, but they cannot silence the truth. His plans may be cunning, but they cannot override God's design. This is the assurance you carry into battle. If you want to claim this message, you can show your support by paying a super thanks amount of up to $20 and typing 1111. Do not imagine yourself as a victim caught in the crossfire. You are a warrior with heaven at your back. The same spirit that raised Christ from the grave is alive in you. That spirit is not timid, not passive, not afraid. That spirit is fire. That spirit is courage. That spirit is victory. Think back to David standing before Goliath. Everyone else saw a giant too strong to fight. David saw an opportunity too clear to ignore. Why? Because he understood the battle was not his. It was the Lord's. That is the key for you as well. You do not fight alone. Every step you take into the battlefield is reinforced by heaven's armies. You are not just one person. You are a chosen one backed by the hosts of God. Even when the war feels endless, remember this. Darkness does not have eternal endurance. It exhausts itself. It consumes itself. It fades away. But the light within you is renewed by heaven. Each morning you wake up. No matter how weary, your flame still burns. That is proof that the enemy has failed yet again. You may ask, why does the fight never seem to end? The truth is your life is not just about survival. It is about demonstration. You are living proof that light cannot be extinguished. Your story is not just yours. It is a message written for others who are still in their own battles. When they see you standing, they realize they can stand too. Chosen one, the battlefield is where your identity is revealed. Without the fight, you might never know your strength. Without resistance, you might never discover your authority. Without the storm, you might never see how high you can rise. The war is not here to break you. It is here to unveil you. And so, every time the darkness comes, remember who you are. You are the torchbearer, the warrior, the chosen one. You carry the authority of heaven, and you cannot be overcome. The enemy will try, but he will fail. The shadows will gather, but they will scatter. The weapons will form, but they will not prosper. This is the battle you were born for. Not to be crushed, but to conquer. Not to be silenced, but to sing louder. Not to hide, but to shine. Every clash between light and darkness is a reminder that you carry something eternal, and nothing in this world or beyond can take it away. Chosen one, you have felt the pull in your spirit. Heaven is whispering, rise now. You cannot remain where you are because the time has come for you to step forward into the calling on your life. All the hesitation, all the fear, all the delays, they cannot hold you anymore. The signal from heaven is clear. Now is the moment to rise. Think of a runner at the starting line, muzzle racing, eyes fixed on the path ahead. For so long they have waited for the signal, for the sound that says go. And when it comes, they cannot hesitate. They cannot look back. They must launch forward. That is you in this very hour. The starting gun of destiny has sounded and your lane is open. You may feel unprepared, but that is the beauty of God's call. He does not wait until you feel ready. He calls you so that you can become ready. Rising is not about perfection. It is about obedience. The step you take today will open doors you never imagined. The book of Joshua 1 verse 9 declares, "Have I not commanded you? Be brave and powerful. Don't be scared. Do not give up, because wherever you go, the Lord, your God, will be with you." No, let that assurance to calm your emotions. You're not the only one ascending. The Lord is by your side every step of the way, supporting, enabling, and directing you. When heaven is holding your hand, you can't fail. Permit me to speak from the heart now. I have a pretty straightforward request for you if these words have been energizing you and giving you new life. Encourage this message. It is because your heart feels guided, not because it is required or coerced. Imagine a lighthouse situated on a rough shore. Its beam steers ships clear of danger by piercing the fog. But someone has to keep the oil burning so that light may shine. Without oil, the flame cannot continue. Similarly, this message, this ray of hope for others who have been selected like you, need oil to remain bright. That oil is your generosity. The flame is maintained by your gift. You are not paying for words when you donate. Others who may be drowning in storms might see the light you are igniting. For someone who may otherwise give up in quiet, you are keeping the flame burning. Every contribution, whatever of size, is like adding a drop of oil to a lamp. When those drops are combined, they become an unquenchable blaze. But pay close attention to me. This isn't a must. This isn't a purchase. It's an invitation. It is always a matter of the heart. Just as no one compels the runner to take the first stride, no one forces you to contribute. Giving from the heart also brings delight rather than hardship. Don't feel bad if you can't donate. Your simple existence here counts. You are still loved, called, and chosen. There are other ways to help the flame expand. But if you feel moved, if you feel the Spirit urging you, then let your offering be an act of faith, a way of saying, I believe in this light, and I want it to keep shining for others. Spread the word so that someone who is in dire need of hope hears it. I like how the light extends into the darkest areas. To keep up with the stream of what heaven is releasing, subscribe. Every action, no matter how minor, adds fuel to the flames. Imagine with me that a selected one is snuggled up on their bed someplace tonight, certain that they can't continue. Hope returns as they go for their phone, stumble onto the same message. Hear the words, you are not alone. You are chosen. You will rise. They turn their tears into prayers. Their hopelessness turns into faith. Do you notice your gift, your support, or your easy like or share button? These ignite another flame, much like matches striking in the dark. Thus, choose one for other people as well as for yourself. You are creating an unbreakable chain of hope as you go ahead and share your light. This has nothing to do with money, clicks, or figures. Your life and the lives that your obedience will impact are at stake here. The call has gone out, and you are at the starting line. Come on ahead. Have courage. To help us keep the fire going, shine your light. And, if your heart so dictates, pour oil to the lamp. Now is the moment. The world is waiting for you to rise, and the call is obvious. Every voyage has a moment when heaven stops and requests your consent. Chosen one. You have experienced fire. You've been through storms. You have remained silent. Nevertheless, you are called deeper by God's voice. To proclaim, not only to believe. To align, not only hope. For you, now is the time. A prophetic deed has a certain potency. On the surface, it could seem little, but in the invisible world, it is thunder. The adversary shudders at even the most basic expression of faith, and heaven reacts to obedience. Never undervalue the force of what your spirit releases. Consider Gideon. He was cowering in dread, unsure of his value, and questioning his power. However, something changed when God named him a powerful warrior. At first, he didn't feel it, but as he followed instructions, the reality became clear to him. When you connect yourself with the voice of heaven, that is what occurs. It brings to life what has always been inside you. Chapter 2, verse 3 of the book of Habakkuk contains the old words, "Because there is a moment for the unveiling. It foretells the end, and, despite its persistence, will not turn out to be untrue. Await it. It won't be delayed and will undoubtedly arrive." Selected one, Len. You could feel that the wait is interminable and that your commitment has taken too long. However, according to heaven, your assigned time is nearer than you may believe. What you believe to be denied is just postponed. What was postponed is now maturing. It's your revealing season. Here's the secret, however. Your consent is important. Heaven awaits your affirmative response. You're going to reveal a prophetic number that is not arbitrary. It serves as a seal, a symbol, and an obvious indication that you are in accordance with God's timeline. I want you to post in comments 1 to 11 for consecutive ones. Why? Because it represents fresh beginnings, open doors, and divine harmony. It serves as a reminder that a new season is upon you, one in which the road ahead is clear and barriers part like the Red Sea. Typing that number involves more than simply hitting keys. You're bringing trust to the environment. Consider like putting a seed in soil to the naked eye. You are saying, "I believe my appointed time has come. I believe God is aligning my steps. I believe doors are opening before me." It seems to be a little action or gesture. However, roots start to sprout under the surface. Life starts to move, and eventually a harvest appears. Your seed is that number, and the harvest will undoubtedly come. Don't write this off as customary or ordinary. Scripture is filled with examples of prophetic deeds, such as dipping 7 times in a river, ringing walls with trumpets, and lifting a staff over the sea. Each seemed more straightforward, even odd. But in the same manner, everyone opened a miracle. Something in the spirit is currently being unlocked by your assertion. Selected one. Know this. Because God utilizes numbers, they have significance. 40 for the exam, 7 for finishing, 12 for the government. Additionally, alignment and transition are related to this number, 1111. It's about moving from aimlessness to promise. It's about letting go of the past and embracing fate as you write it. Imagine yourself stepping beyond a threshold. You leave the wilderness with 1 step. The promised land is entered in the next stage. There is stillness after 1 step. The music then moves on to the following stage. Waiting is 1 step away. Fulfillment is the following phase. This goes beyond visuals. Heaven is now breathing on this spiritual reality. Therefore, don't hesitate. What your soul already understands, let your fingers proclaim. Now is the moment. Now is the time. This is the time of year. Put in bold writing. Think of it as a flag that has flown over your life. 1. 11. I follow the timetable of heaven. I agree with what God has promised. I am in harmony with fate. And when you say it, you may rest knowing that heaven has heard. The door is ajar. The road is straight. The disclosure won't be postponed. The time you were scheduled to arrive has come. Selected one. Allow me to further open this for you. There is more to the number 1, 11 than merely a line of numbers. The pattern is prophetic. They all stand straight, tall, and united. They resemble pillars standing side by side to support a gate in its alignment. The entrance you're going to enter is that gate. It also signifies fresh beginnings. Just like creation begins on the first day, the fourfold one signifies that everything in your environment is being reset. Old cycles are ending. Confusion is giving way to clarity, and new order is on the horizon. Above all, it is an assurance of the presence of God. God is with you, everyone says. You are not alone when you go into the unknown. You have the Almighty walking by you. You are walking in time with Him as you write this song. Selected 1. You have underestimated the strength that is inside you. You could have been told you were too much or not enough for years. People misinterpreted your power after catching a peek of it. They attempted to put out the sparks of your power. However, this is the reality. Because it was never bestowed by man, the power you possess cannot be taken. God breathed that into you. This strength is neither hollow pride or noisy arrogance. Quiet authority. When you enter a room, darkness detects your presence and changes the mood. Because its goals are thwarted by the light inside you. Your very existence disturbs the unholy, even if you say nothing. You ponder why you constantly seem to run across opposition. This is due to the fact that you are in a state of war. Imagine a lion traversing thick grass. The earth feels its weight even before its roar is audible. And all creatures in the vicinity are aware of the presence of authority. You bear that. The spirit world is aware of your identity, even if you don't scream every day. In his epistle to the Romans, the Apostle Paul writes in verse 11 of chapter 8, "And because of his Spirit that is within you, the one who resurrected Jesus from the grave will also give life to your mortal bodies if that Spirit is there." Do you realize how serious this is, Em? The same Spirit that rolled away the stone, broke the bonds of death, and brought Jesus back to life. You contain that Spirit. This isn't a metaphor. It's the truth. The power of resurrection is not far away. It's within of you. Nothing can really ruin you as a result. You can't be crushed even when you've been knocked down. You can't be defeated even if you've been hurt. Your inner strength ensures both your success and your survival. Consider an ember that is concealed by ash. It seems to be extinguished to the naked eye. However, fire erupts once again as soon as the wind hits it. Your spirit is that ember. It's possible that life attempted to bury you in disappointment, discomfort, and wreckage, but you are revived by the breeze of God. Additionally, your flame consumes the surrounding darkness as it expands out of control after it erupts. The myth that you are weak must be dispelled. Being weak is not who you are. Strength is just being developed throughout this season. Your strength was not taken away by the hardships you faced. They were supposed to make it public. Each conflict has served as a training ground. Every storm affects a classroom. Every injury teaches resiliency. Selected 1. Know this. The power you possess is not for show. It's for effect. You are not a source of admiration. You are a target for pursuit. Your statements are significant. Your prayers are powerful. Foundations are shaken by your faith. Things change when you pray. Chains break during worship. The atmosphere changes as you talk. And you are unflappable when you have faith. This is the meaning of having divine power. Not that life is simple, but that you can conquer every obstacle in life. Imagine Moses in front of the Red Sea. The staff in his palm represented power, but to the naked sight, it was impossible. Enemies behind, water ahead. Paths opened and waters divided as he raised it. Even if you don't have a staff, you still have the Spirit. In your own life, that Spirit has the same ability to divide oceans. Additionally, keep in mind that your power is not only for you. It is intended for those who are still unable to recognize their own power. It is your responsibility to uplift, lead, and pray for them. Your anointing has significance for both their and your future. When you use your authority, others are inspired to exercise theirs as well. Don't shrink back, Zoe. Quit apologizing for your inner fire. Quit allowing your passion to be smothered by the views of others. You weren't supposed to conceal. You were destined to burn. Selected 1. Another echo is not necessary for the globe. Your voice is needed. Another shadow is not necessary for the globe. It needs your light. Your inner strength is not a coincidence, and it will not be wasted. Take pride in it. Step out in it with confidence. Allow it to shine brighter each day, because you won't ever question your capacity to strive, persevere, and triumph once you fully understand the Spirit that is inside you. Selected 1. The shadows get restless the closer you go to breakthrough. The opponent does his hardest to make you believe that nothing is changing because he knows when destiny is approaching. The rise in opposition should not be seen as failure. It is proof that you are about to undergo a change. Imagine a daybreak that is shortly before sunrise. Those last moments appear to be the darkest of the night, as if the shadows are making a last stand. However, the light that is rising cannot be stopped by the darkness, no matter how thick it becomes. That's your tale. Your trial's severity hasn't been a kind of punishment. The countdown until your dawn has been ongoing. You've observed that commotion tends to break out all around you just before doors start to open. Attacks seem more acute, miscommunications increase, and diversions emerge. It is a plan, not an accident. The opponent is attempting to wear you out before you enter the area that is ready for you. But you're still standing here, evidence that his efforts have been unsuccessful. James's writings, verse 12 of chapter 1. The person who endures hardship is blessed because, after overcoming the test, they will be granted the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Yes, these phrases serve as a reminder that persistence is not meaningless. Every hardship faced is worthwhile. There was a crown being created for each time you refuse to give up. Heaven is aware of your tenacity. It is rewarded. Others would have been drowned by the storms you have endured. A crown of life awaits you as a result. Selected one. Not all trials are an indication of weakness. They serve as affirmations of power. Those who are not a danger are not attacked by the adversary. When someone is carrying something he fears, he attacks them. You are carrying unrelenting power if you have experienced constant pressure. Consider a burning kettle of water. Bubbles develop slowly at first, but the activity picks in speed and intensity just before it boils over. You've reached the boiling point in your life. There is more to the pressure you experience. It is an indication that something is about to spill. Additionally, keep in mind that shadows always respond to light. The instant you flick the switch and enter a dark room, the shadows do not quietly go. They disperse wildly. It's a disorderly scattering. However, it indicates that the light is triumphant in your life. The pandemonium, the abrupt opposition, the disorientation. It is the dispersal of darkness as a result of turning on your light. Opposition should not be seen as desertion. Heaven is still with you. You've been equipped by it. Angels are closer than you think, supporting you in the invisible realm. You are not crushed, even if you can feel pressured on all sides. Even though you can feel defeated, you are not ruined. Despite your fatigue, you're not forgotten. Reflect on your past experiences. You traveled across the valleys you believed would bury you. You believed that the storms would devour. You turned into storms. You made it through. The events that shaped you were the betrayals you believed would shatter you. You are unstoppable, as each season has shown. Do not hate the counterattacks, chosen one. They are affirmations. They show that you are near. Desperation is usually the last step before loss, and they show that the opposition is desperate. On Mount Carmel, keep in mind Elijah. He encountered resistance from all sides. A country gravitating to idols, doubtful masses, and false prophets. But as God's fire descended, it ate up every darkness, every falsehood, and every doubt. The resistance was hushed in an instant. You are under that same fire. So raise your head. The mayhem is temporary. The battle is not over. There is a limit to the pressure. You're standing between them. The shivering before the crown, the pandemonium before breakthrough, the blackness before light. Furthermore, the breakthrough won't only make you feel better. It will quiet all those who questioned you. Your light's brightness will be accentuated by the same darkness that attempted to suffocate you. You're not losing. Selected one. You're moving forward. The pressure is the evidence. The opponent has the proof. The promised crown of life will shortly be placed upon your head. You persevered. You declared to everyone. You triumphed. You were selected. And it will be more than simply a triumph sign when the crown is placed on you. It will serve as a remembrance of each tear that was transformed into victory. The weight of it will bear witness to your faithfulness throughout the fire and your stability during the storm. Select one and keep it steady. The precise evidence that heaven never abandoned you will soon be revealed via what is pushing you now. Your crown lasts forever, but the shadows pass. When you're the chosen one, you have to make a decision. Not in private or in the back of your mind, but out loud and in the open. Silence feeds the adversary, but your revelation shatters his hold. You don't know how much your voice matters. It is a sword, a flag, and a weapon. No one else has seen the conflicts you have fought inside yourself. Your mind is whispering doubts. Fears try to limit your movements. But even in the midst of those storms, you're supposed to stand as someone who knows who they belong to, not as someone who is unsure. Paul's words in the Epistle to the Ephesians, verse 13, chapter 6. Put on all of God's armor, so that you may defend yourself on the day of evil. And when everything is finished, don't move. Can you hear it? Don't back down. The accusation is that. It tells you to remain steadfast in God's power, not to keep fighting in your own. You're told to stand up to fear rather than to bend down to it. To stand is to declare that I will not be influenced. I'm not going to be rattled. What God has promised me, I will not give up. Consider a tree with extensive roots. Its limbs may be bent by storms. Its roots keep it in place even if winds may tear off its leaves. You are that. You cannot be uprooted because your roots are in God's faithfulness, not in circumstances. Your statement is important for this reason. Speaking isn't just for listening. It's for you. Your spirit is communicating your position to your heart, mind, and adversaries. Anchors are words. They maintain your posture and prevent you from straying. So, I want you to write only 3 words in the comments. Light breaks through, but luminous with strength. Why this particular phrase? Because it depicts what occurs every time you choose faith over fear in a prophetic manner. Every moment you decide to stay upright, light always breaks through the darkness. The light comes through as you type. You are saying that you cannot be held by any shadow. You're saying that your life is like a sunrise breaking through the darkness. The light inside me is stronger than the darkness opposing me, as you are reminding both yourself and the invisible world. This is not a casual act. Spiritual warfare is what it is. On a battlefield, picture holding a light aloft. When soldiers see it, they realize that the night is not over. Hope awakens. Courage rises. Your proclamation becomes into that. Heaven and earth may see a light raised high. Selected one, don't undervalue it. Your 3 words resound like a trumpet in the invisible world, declaring victory before the conflict has even ended. Lift your words, your heart, and your faith, because they say, this chosen one carries light. This chosen one will not bow to darkness. This chosen one will endure until dawn. Light shines through, let it be written, and light appears as you announce. You are bringing about a change, not just making a statement. Because such words match you with the reality that darkness has an expiry date, they have prophetic weight. The light always comes, no matter how dense the darkness seems. That statement has substance in every syllable. Light, it talks about the revelation, clarity, and presence of God. It is the solution to perplexity, the remedy for hopelessness, and the roadmap for missed opportunities. It is neither timid nor kind. It is powerful and inexorable, rupturing what seemed to be impregnable. It indicates that the light pierces deeply, piercing through all layers of despair and dread rather than only touching the surface. You are raising your voice to the sky when you speak it. You acknowledge that things won't stay the same for you. You are proclaiming that the dawn is already pressing against the horizon, that the walls around you are crumbling, and that the shadows that hide you are dispersing. And don't forget this. Your environment is shaped by more than just your words. Those who read or hear them have their lives shaped by them. Your opinion can inspire another selected individual who is exhausted and floundering to find confidence once again. Through testimonies, your proclamation becomes an infectious light that multiplies. So say it with courage. Put in a clear writing style. Have a strong belief in it, because the light becomes greater with each word of agreement and every whisper of trust. And soon, the seemingly delayed morning will shine brightly on your way. Something is waiting for you, chosen one. Something that heaven has been protecting till the appropriate time. Your crown, it's still there. It hasn't been overlooked. Furthermore, no one else has been given it. It has been kept for you, honed by your hardships, molded by your sorrows, and enhanced by your tenacity. Imagine a goldsmith creating crown. Every hammer blow seems vicious, yet it has a reason. Every second in the flames seems agonizing, but it's essential. Like you, that crown has been created in the shadows, and now it is being raised from the flames to sit on your head. James, the writings, chapter 1, verse 12. The person who endures hardship will be blessed because they will be granted the crown of life that is promised to those who love him. See, your patience has not been in vain. You are being measured for this crown each time you stood when it would have been simpler to fall. You are being prepared for this crown each time you made the decision to have faith while fear cried out louder. It is now prepared for you. But allow me to relate a personal story. This motivation, this message, and these words are like water running through a brook. Stones must be removed for the stream to flow. Channels need to remain open. Sometimes it has to be tended by hands. When you contribute, that tending takes place. When you contribute to maintaining the stream's flow. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond when you enjoy this message. Furthermore, ripples spread the light further than you may think. When you share it, you are directing a tired traveler towards safety, much like a lamp raised high in the night. It's like planting a tree next to the stream when you subscribe. You guarantee that life and shade will persist over the next seasons. Indeed, when you contribute, you are also invited to give. It is comparable to planting seeds in rich soil, adding fuel to a fire, or pouring oil into a lamp. Every act of kindness feeds the fire. For everyone who finds this light at their darkest hour, not just for myself, but pay close attention to me. This is never required. This isn't money. There's no pressure here. This is an invitation. Generosity cannot be coerced from someone's hand, any more than a crown can be forced onto someone's head. It must be freely provided, freely given, and freely selected. It is wonderful because of that. Allow your offering to reflect your agreement with heaven if it stirs your heart. I want this fire to continue. This stream must continue to flow. I want what I have discovered to be discovered by others. Otherwise, your worth remains same. You haven't been picked yet. Remains adored and crowned. Consider it this way. Envision a magnificent banquet hall crowded with individuals who previously believed they had no place at the table. They are greeted, fed, and given back their vigor. Every present you give is like adding a chair to the table, creating space for another tired person to sit, eat, and recover. Helping people discover their crowns is a beautiful thing. Your own crown is more radiant. Being generous increases you rather than diminishes you. When you pour out oil, it comes back as new anointing. Planting a seed yields a crop. Your own road is burned back by the flame you maintain. Therefore, selected one, do not consider this a duty. Consider it a chance to like, share, subscribe, and give. It's not about statistics or algorithms. It has to do with destiny, tales, and souls. The goal is to ensure that the whisper is heard by another person somewhere throughout the night. You have been selected. Awaiting you is your crown. And keep in mind that you are not traveling this path alone as you ascend and assume your crown. Beside you, a group of selected people stroll with torches, putting on crowns and raising one another up. Your contribution, your light, and your generosity, whether expressed verbally, in deeds, or gifts, all count. Your crown is prepared. It's your time. Take a stand and bravely wear it. And when that crown sits above your head, it will not only serve as a reminder that you survived, but it will also declare your triumph. Each scar will gleam like a gem. Each tear will shine like a brilliant diamond. Every storm will be transformed into a selected one's grandeur. Raise your head, wear your crown as you walk, because the world is waiting for you to shine your light. Selected one. There are times of the year when everything seems to be on fire. The heat is oppressive, the air is thick, and each stride seems like it's going through fire. You could question if you'll survive the flames or not. Here's the reality, however. What is genuine is not destroyed by fire. It makes it clear. Before being put to the proof by fire, gold cannot be trusted. Diamonds need to be sculpted by heat and pressure before they can dazzle. Similarly, you have been refined by your tribulations rather than consumed. The purpose of the fire is cleansing, not punishment. Isaiah, the prophet, chapter 43, verse 2 declares, "When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." End of notice the promise. It does not say if you walk through fire, but when fire is part of the journey of the chosen. Yet it also says you will not be consumed. The flames may surround you, but they cannot define you. They can only shape you. Think of the three young men, Shadrach, Mach, and Abednego, cast into the fiery furnace to the world. It looked like the end. The flames were so intense that even those who threw them in perished, but inside the furnace, something miraculous happened. The fire burned away their bonds, but it did not touch their bodies. And when they looked closer, they saw a fourth man walking with them. The very presence of God. That is your story. The fire may feel unbearable, but it is burning away what held you bound. It is loosening chains, not your identity. And you are not walking it alone. The same presence that walked in the furnace is walking with you. Now, consider a piece of pottery. At first, it is soft clay shaped by the potter's hand. It may look beautiful, but without the furnace, it cannot endure. The heat makes it strong, unbreakable, able to withstand what lies ahead. The fire you feel is only God making sure that you will last, that you will endure, that you will not crack under pressure when your destiny arrives. Yes, you have felt the burn of betrayal, the sting of rejection, the searing weight of disappointment. But instead of destroying you, those flames have been building something eternal. You are becoming unshakable. You are becoming someone who can carry weight, who can stand tall even when the world quakes. Sometimes the fire exposes what is not meant to stay. Friendships that fall away, opportunities that collapse, doors that close, they can feel like loss. But in truth, they are impurities burning off in the flame. The fire removes what cannot endure, leaving only what is pure, what is lasting, what is real, chosen one. Do not fear the fire. You were made to endure it. And when you emerge, you will not come out smelling of smoke. You will walk out brighter, stronger, transformed. The very things that once intimidated you will lose their power over you. Look at nature's phoenix, the bird that rises from ashes. Its story is not of destruction, but of rebirth. So too, your life is not ending in the flames. It is beginning again. Every ember is becoming a spark of new life. Every ash a foundation for your rise. What you carry after the fire is not just for you. Others will see your survival and find hope for their own. They will hear your testimony and realize they too can walk through fire without being consumed. You're not only being refined, you're becoming a living witness of God's faithfulness. So breathe even in the heat. Lift your eyes even in the blaze. Remember, fire may roar, but it cannot devour what heaven has marked. You will walk through this, and when you do, your shine will be undeniable, chosen one. The fire is not the end. It is the beginning of your brilliance. And when you step out of the flames, the world will see a version of you that the fire could not break. They will see strength carved into your soul and courage flowing through your voice. The fire does not leave you empty. It leaves you radiant. Chosen one, what once threatened to destroy you has only crowned you with resilience. The fire that tried to silence you has only sharpened your testimony. Now your very presence carries proof that God keeps his word, even in the hottest furnace. So walk forward with confidence. The fire behind you is no longer a threat. It is your testimony. And every step you take now will carry the fragrance of survival and the brilliance of refined glory. Chosen one, when heaven shifts your season, it rarely happens in silence. Signs begin to stir, doors begin to move, and your spirit feels restless like a bird ready to take flight. You know deep within something is changing. What was closed is opening. What was hidden is being revealed. What was delayed is now accelerating. There comes a moment when God does not simply whisper comfort, but speaks direction. And in this moment, he is saying, step into the shift. Don't hold on to the past. Because of who you have become, The old season cannot hold you. You have changed since yesterday. You are being stretched into your tomorrow. The writings of the prophet Hag. Chapter 2, verse 9. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty, and in this place I will grant peace. Do you feel that greater glory ahead, not behind greater peace to come? Not just memories of what once was. The best is not lost. It is waiting. This is the shift. But here's the truth. To step into it, you must mark your agreement. Heaven always honors the voice of the chosen when they declare alignment. Just as Joshua had to march around Jericho, just as Mon had to dip 7 times, there is power in the prophetic act. I want you now to write this in the comments. 444, 3 4s in a row. This is not random. It is prophetic. Why? Because biblically the number 4 speaks of completion of cycles. North, south, east, west, the 4 winds, the 4 corners of the earth. Writing 444 is your way of saying, Lord, I accept the closing of old cycles and I step into the fullness of what you are releasing. When you type it, you are declaring that your wilderness season is finished. You are aligning with heaven's shift into a promised land of greater glory and deeper peace. It is a sign that you are ready to stand in the new house God is building within your life. Think of a caterpillar. It cannot remain in the cocoon forever. At first, the cocoon feels safe, but it is only meant for a season. If it stays too long, it suffocates. But when the time comes, it breaks through, spreads its wings, and the world sees what was hidden all along. That is you, chosen one. The cocoon season is ending. The wings are ready. The shift is here. Typing 444 is like that breaking. It is like pressing through the walls of your old limitations. It is your act of saying, I cannot remain in yesterday's shell. I will emerge into tomorrow's sky. This act may look simple, but in the unseen, it thunders. Heaven sees it as covenant. Angels move at the sound of it. The enemy shakes because it means you are no longer in agreement with delay, but in agreement with destiny. Remember Israel's journey. 40 years wandering in circles, stuck in the cycle of wilderness. But the day came when the wandering ended. The manna ceased, and the fruit of the promised land began. The number 4 is connected to this completion of cycles, stepping into new directions. Declaring 444 is saying, my circles are finished. I'm done wandering. The beginning of my new country. Chosen one, you're not here by chance. You are drawn to these words because heaven is calling you into alignment. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. Mark your moment. Declare it boldly. Write 444 as your prophetic banner. Let it be the stone of remembrance you set down on this day, the marker of your shift. And as you do, hold this truth in your heart. The glory ahead is greater. The peace ahead is deeper. The promise ahead is certain. You are not stepping backward. You are stepping forward into everything heaven has prepared. This is your appointed time. The shift is here. The doors are open. The glory is waiting. And all you need to do is step into it. And when you step into this shift, you will look back and realize the old season no longer fits you. Like clothes you've outgrown, it cannot contain the person you have become. The new is not just an option. It is your inheritance. Chosen one, your declaration of 444 is more than numbers. It is a doorway. Every digit stands like a pillar, holding up the entrance to a greater future. Walk through it boldly, for heaven has already prepared the ground ahead. So breathe deeply. Lift your head. Step forward. This is the moment creation itself has been waiting to see you stepping into glory. Chosen one, there is something sacred about the moment. Chains begin to break. For so long they have clinked around your spirit. Chains of doubt, chains of fear, chains of generational weight you did not choose yet carried. Perhaps you have grown so accustomed to the sound of those chains that you almost forgot what freedom could feel like. But heaven never forgot. Chains arrive. They convince you that bondage is normal, that heaviness is permanent, that cycles cannot be broken. Yet the truth is this: chains only have power as long as they are locked. And in Christ, the key has already been turned. What you're feeling in this season is not imagination. It is the sound of iron snapping, of weight falling, of prisons opening. The writings of Paul in the book of Galatians 5 verse 1. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. Let those words settle deep. Freedom is not a distant dream. It is your present reality. You are not redeemed to remain bound. You were not chosen to carry chains. You were set free so that you could live as the unshakable, unstoppable person God designed you to be. Think of Peter in prison, chained between guards, surrounded by locked gates. To every natural eye, escape was impossible. But in the night, an angier light filled the cell, and the chains fell off his wrists. The guards could not stop it. The iron doors could not hold it. The prison could not contain it. That is the picture of your life right now. What once seemed immovable is suddenly trembling. What once looked final is about to open. And do not think these chains are only external. Many of them have been internal chains of self-doubt, shame, regret, unforgiveness. They have whispered to you, you are unworthy. You're broken. You are trapped. Yet even those invisible chains are no match for the Spirit of God. The moment His truth enters, lies collapse. The moment His presence comes, prisons shake. Remember Paul and Silas in the midnight hour. Their feet in stocks, their bodies bruised, yet their voices lifted in song. They did not wait for freedom to worship. They worshiped into freedom. And as they sang, the foundations shook, doors flow open, and every prisoner was loosed. Chosen one, your midnight has not been wasted. It has been the stage for God's earthquake of deliverance. Do you see the pattern? Chains do not define chosen ones. Chains are broken by chosen ones. You carry freedom that is contagious. When your chains fall, others around you find courage to believe theirs can too. Your life becomes evidence that no cycle is too strong, no bondage too old, no prison too deep. Think of a bird that has lived too long in a cage. When the door finally swings open, at first it hesitates, unsure if it can really fly. But once it spreads its wings, instinct of errands and the sky becomes its home again. That is you. You were made for open skis, not for cages. The door is open now, chosen one. Freedom is not just the absence of chains. It is the presence of purpose. God does not simply release you from something. He releases you into something. The shackles of yesterday break so that you can run into the assignment of tomorrow. You are stepping into a season where your walk will be lighter, your heart freer, and your spirit unbound. And this freedom will not only heal you, it will echo into your bloodline. Generational cycles that seemed unbreakable will collapse because you stood, because you chose, because you believed. Your children and your children's children will walk lighter because you dared to break what held your family for years. So do not fear the sound of breaking. Do not mourn what is falling away. Every snap chain is a song of heaven. Every weight that drops is a testimony. Every door that opens is a sign. You are free. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. The season of bondage is over. The season of liberty is here. Walk in it boldly. For once chains break, they cannot be reforged. Lift your head, chosen one, and feel the lightness that freedom brings. What once weighed you down is gone, and what once silenced you has no voice left. Step forward with unbound steps, for the world is waiting to witness the sound of your freedom echoing through every place you walk. Chosen one, there's a moment in every journey when God lays a mantle across your shoulders. It is not a garment of fabric or thread, but of authority and weight. A mantle is both an honor and a responsibility. It marks you as one who has been entrusted with heaven's purpose. You may have sensed it already, that quiet heaviness that rests upon you. In certain moments, when others turn away, you feel compelled to step in. When silence surrounds, you feel an urgency to speak. When chaos arises, something inside you rises too. That is the mantle stirring. It is not something you chose. It is something that chose you. The writings of the prophet Elisha's calling in 1 Kings show us this clearly. Elijah, nearing the end of his assignment, cast his cloak upon Elisha. That cloak was not just fabric. It was destiny. It represented a transfer of weight, a passing of authority, a declaration. You're next. In the same way, the mantle resting on you is heaven's way of saying it is your time. The book of Hebrews 12 verse 1 declares, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." 11. Do you feel that? A race marked out for you, a mantle resting upon you, a crowd of witnesses cheering for you. You are not running without purpose, and you are not clothed in ordinary garments. You're clothed in calling. But here is the truth. Mantles are heavy. They do not rest lightly. To carry one means you will feel the pull of responsibility, the weight of compassion, the burden of obedience. Yet in that heaviness lies your strength. The mantle you carry is not meant to crush you, but to confirm. You think of Moses, trembling at the burning bush, have felt unqualified, unworthy, unsure. Yet God placed the weight of a nation upon his shoulders. That mantle was not easy, but it revealed the power of God working through weakness. In the same way, your hesitation does not disqualify you. Often the very ones who feel least prepared are the ones chosen to carry the greatest weight, and mantles are never meant to be hidden. You may have tried to keep yours tucked away, to downplay your gift, to shrink from your calling, but mantles demand to be seen. Because they are not just for you, they are for those you are called to serve. Others are waiting for the courage in you to awaken courage in them. Think of a torch handed from one runner to another in a relay. The race cannot continue unless the handoff is made. The mantle is like that torch. You are not meant to keep it for yourself. You are meant to carry it forward, to run your part of the race faithfully and to pass the flame on to others, chosen one. The mantle you carry will set you apart.